Hello and welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with Ruby and Suki from the band The Twos. Without any further ado, here's the interview. So, starting off at the beginning, I guess, for both of you individually, do you guys have an earliest musical memory that pops into your head?
Oh yeah, I started cello in the 5th grade and I sounded like a cat being tortured. So that was my first experience with the cello. I have that memory. But I moved beyond that sound now.
Ruby, how about you?
For me, it was there was always music in the house, so it was just kind of always there. My dad played a lot of bluegrass banjo, and a couple of my brothers played as well. So I just remember picking up the guitar one day.
What was the catalyst of you thinking, wow, I really want to play music, or I really want to start playing this kind of thing? Was it the fact that you got into it so young? Was there some band you listened to that's like, oh wow, I really want to do that, and that was the reason? Or I don't know. It's different for everybody. I'm curious to hear it.
Well, for me, my brother, one of my brothers was in a band since I was young, and I played with him when I was 16, a couple of shows, that kind of thing. And so it was just always there, and he was always listening to a bunch of different type of stuff. But I guess because it was always there, I never thought of it as like a career or a thing that you know, it's just something that was part of, like, you eat, you sleep, you work, you play music.
That's good.
But it wasn't until I was like 27, which was in the 90s, and I heard Dave Matthews Band and that guitar playing. And I didn't own a guitar at the time, and it made me go buy a guitar. And I remember sitting on the floor thinking, I want to do this.
Suki, how about you?
Well, no, it's always been there. Of course, you know, around 2004 or 5 in New Orleans, I started to go out and play open mics with a cello in New Orleans, of all places.
Yeah.
And met this guy, and he said, well, come try out for this band. And Ruby was trying out for the same band. So we were in this band for a little bit until Katrina came along and reset everybody's clock. And then after Katrina, we reconnected and decided we had a lot in common musically.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been going since then.
So that's how you two met. So just like in a band audition?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I already had a band, but I was looking more because being a front person was always scary for me. And so I was looking for another situation where I could just be with a microphone and be singing and be a front person. And so I found that situation. And then we met, and, you know, the storm came and screwed everything up. But everything kind of fell back into a better place for me.
It's super cool to see you guys play live, just because the uniqueness of the instrumentation that you do. And Ruby, you play the drums with your feet while you play. And I'm just wondering, did you always have you been playing drums for basically your whole musical journey, or like did it basically just start with guitar and that was just something that you picked up later?
I dabbled in drums here and there, but I never really learned any real technique. And so it had been years since I even sat behind a drum set. But, you know, never played out or any of that kind of thing. It's just there was a drum set there, and every now and then I'd go beat on it, but that was the extent of it. It wasn't until, you know, we lost our percussionist that we realized we still wanted percussion. I started researching foot percussion, and I found Pete Farmer and his foot drum set. And Pete Farmer is the guy who makes them. And decided, you know, we're just gonna do this. We needed to be compact. We wanted it to just be the two of us, but we still wanted the power of drums somehow. So it was about 6 or 8 months ago that I started adding the foot drums into everything else. So
was it like a giant learning curve with that, or did it come pretty naturally?
Oh God, yeah. It was initially, you know, it's a $2,000 instrument. It takes 3 months to get it to you, and it's not returnable. And so initially I sat down with it and thought, oh God, I don't think I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary.
It was.
Because it's like, okay, we just have this instrument now, we can't do anything with it. But there was, you know, I just kept something. For one thing, I really enjoyed it. There was the challenge of it. And so just sat down and just slowed everything down and
Practice.
tried to put it, the singing with the guitar playing and the drumming, trying to put all that together. And at some point it started to click. And so it's kind of like your whole body dancing.
It seems like so simple, but at the same time, I know that can't be as easy as it looks. It's a lot. It's an accomplishment. It's like you should be very proud of that. I think it's incredible, and it's truly something that's unique and cool. As far as how the twos came to be, was this just something that you consciously said, let's make a group together, just you and me, let's try to get this kind of thing going? Or was it just something you kind of naturally fell into and was like, oh yeah, we like playing with each other, we might as well do this kind of thing? I don't know. What's the history behind the formation of the twos?
Well, the history is a wonderful relationship.
Oh.
It starts there. And we just feel really lucky that we like playing music and we like playing music together. We did play with a few other musicians, and it gets complicated when you add more band members. I don't know how people do it with 4 and 5 piece bands,
especially on the road.
Yeah, it's just complicated, and so it's just something we love. I mean, we sit in our practice room, and 6-7 hours will go by.
Yeah, and we won't eat, and
you don't eat, and you just
what do we do?
The day is gone. So we really enjoy playing music as individuals, and then it just really works together on so many levels, relationship-wise and also musically.
As someone that really loves music and just loves things that are unique and kind of special, like your music, your songwriting process, because it sounds like you guys come from a bit of a different backgrounds of musicality, but they blend in a really interesting way, and I'm just really curious to see how your songwriting process is. Do you go off individually and I brought the song in, let's work on that, or do you sit down and write together?
Sometimes it kind of started out with me being the primary songwriter. I would bring songs in, and but then it's more of I can start with an idea with Suki now, and we kind of just build the song together. And it is interesting because he does bring this kind of prog sensibility to the songs, and also the classical thing. Like in the song Lullaby, for me, it's like he's doing, what Beethoven would write, and on the cello.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's just
this frenetic running string sound.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about
Beethoven.
I know, but it goes, Beethoven. If you listen to his stuff, it goes from he's always running, or he's extremely sad and depressed.
Yeah,
and it's like
so a lot of changes. So we like our arrangements. We like music that changes and takes curves. So that's a lot of the fun in writing and arranging as well.
Yeah, and not only that is when we're working out parts, sections of the song, it's what's interesting, and we're more conscious of it now because we know what feeling we're looking for. Because sometimes it's like, yeah, that sounds good, that's good, let's keep going. But when it's the right parts, it's just, we both just get super excited. I'm like out of my chair jumping around, and our work will get chills. It's like we know when we have the part.
So that's a little bit about how we write our songs.
Like, how do you guys like to record? You guys like to kind of try one song at a time? You like to kind of piecemeal different songs? I don't know. Everyone's different with that.
Yeah.
We've tried both ways, to record live, as you say, in the studio, and then to record each part separately. And we found we can get the sound we want better when we record each part separately. So that's the fundamental way we record now.
Well, it has a lot to do with we're still just trying to find what's the right sound for us. So I'm excited about what's going to happen in the future. Like this, we really like the way the EP came out, and but we know that performing in the studio together is not for us because the parts are so intricate, and trying to get the correct miking situation and the sound that we're looking for. We just can't afford any bleed or any kind of thing like that happening in the studio. And I don't know, I think that just works best for us, at least right now, because we're still discovering, we're working on a new song right now that is like, it's completely different from this stuff. So no idea what is in store for us regarding songwriting or recording process.
To capture that in the studio.
To capture, what is the sound we're trying to convey? We're still searching for that.
Well, that's how we record too. So the next step is then editing all these raw tracks, and we do that ourselves with a program called Pro Tools, and that's a painstaking process, but a lot of fun actually when everything starts to sound.
Luckily, yeah, we're both of the same mind. We'd like things to be. It's not about perfection so much as getting the right feel, and sometimes, you just can't be perfect in the studio, and nobody has the money to do 156 takes to get it right. So, we do our best. It's more about passion than perfection, and then we deal with any imperfections after the fact. But we have to do that ourselves.
Your new EP that we've been talking kind of in and out about right now, I believe that one's called Push On, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and that has an interesting cover art that I was looking at. It had, I believe it was an octopus on there. Could you explain what the octopus is supposed to represent?
Well, there's the combination of the idea of push on. We did have another band member when we started to work on this album, and he left. And so it took us a year to regroup and what are we doing? Do we use that name? Do we use a new name? Change everything. Decide that we're just going to put out an EP and we're going to just push on. And so that's where that comes from. The octopus, on the back of the album art, we added a jar to indicate that the octopus has escaped from the jar. So I think that's, for us, is like, we dealt with that stuff that was in the past. And we spent 4 years with this other band member. So it was like a lot of work to get, to start at square one again. And but the octopus also represents the fact that, I did take on doing drums, guitar, and vocal.
So yeah, you see her live. It's like watching her.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for talking to us. We really do appreciate it. I've had a blast. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. And before we go, where can people find the Twos at, social media wise?
Across social media would be the Twos Music. So at the Twos Music. So Facebook /the Twos Music. Same thing with Instagram and Twitter. Online is thetwosmusic.com.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
Cool. Well, if you guys want to see them anywhere on social media, that's where to find them. Thank you guys so much for talking to us. Before we go, I know I just said that, but before we go, I always ask everybody that I interview this question. Do you guys have a favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie. Well, a most recent favorite, what do you call that? Like series, is Fleabag.
Yeah, it's.
I can't remember the name of the actress who wrote it. She acted in it and produced it. But it's just it's incredible.
Was it Phoebe Bridge-Waller or something like that?
Phoebe,
yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah, she did some writing on the 25th Bond movie. They brought her in because of that show, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, this is an amazingly interesting series she's done of the characters. Sort of this messed up young woman dealing with life, and it's really well done. And her mistakes, and it's really well done. So that's our favorite, visual thing these days.
Thanks to Ruby and Suki for sitting down with me and talking all about their music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can go to facebook.com/Studio67NCC, youtube.com/NashcomCollege, or you can find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.